Hey, it's Kilobyte here. Um, Today I'm going to be fixing my old push mower. This is several years old. It's the a Murray with a Briggs and Stratton 4.5 horsepower engine, and it's the throttle-free design. Now, if you've had a throttle-free design, that means you just start it. There is no, and it runs. There's no throttle adjustment, and the idea behind this is that as the blades slow down as you're going through the grass, and if the grass is heavy, if it's high and thick, and it slows the blades down, it'll automatically cause the engine to rev up. And it's neat technology. And the first year it worked pretty well. And the second year, not so much. It was terrible, and it would surge really bad. Surging is where the engine would rev up, then slow down, rev up, slow down. And I thought it was the springs, and I just got tired of messing with it, and I actually hooked up a manual throttle control, and hoping that would take care of it. And it helped a little bit because I was able to rev it up higher, but I still had the surging. And I've actually been, and it, by the way, and it drinks gas. And so anyway, I just lived with it, and really didn't, I don't use it a whole lot. It's just used for mowing the ditch and stuff. So it's not, it was something I put up with instead of dealing with. Well, it's gotten bad enough now where I decided that I need to figure out what's going on with it. And anyway, I found out that it's carburetor, and apparently this design has a poor carburetor gasket, and what'll happen is the gasket that goes underneath the carburetor will start leaking. So you got a vacuum leak there, which is why you get the surging. It's the same thing that happened on your car engine. When you got a vacuum leak, it'll cause it to do all kinds of weird things. So that's the problem. And I could have just probably bought new gaskets for it, but they had a new carburetor. It's a, see if I can get this in the camera where it's viewable without too much glare. There's the original service parts, Briggs and Stratton carburetor. Hopefully you can see the number. That's the one for this particular model. And it comes with the carburetor, which helps if it's in the camera. It sits like this if it's lined up like it is, and you can see, it's got the fuel pickup, and like so. And it comes with two gaskets that fit under the carburetor, a little O-ring, a little vent, and a spring. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to replace the carburetor on this, and of course remove my manual throttle, and hopefully this will fix the surging problem. Otherwise I'm going to take it out back and shoot it. Alright, so the first thing you do is remove the air cleaner. This one's quite nasty. You can see how it's got just nastiness in there. It needs to be cleaned. And here is your carburetor right here. I'm going to have to, let's see. In my case, I've had to take a lot of it apart, so I'm going to actually take the top here off. You've got some nuts, bolts, I guess, holding this on, and then you've got some screws holding this side piece. I'm going to take those off because I've got to put the pieces back on. There's springs that go here, and there's a little, what do they call it? It's a little wind vane that helps control the speed. So I'm going to take this off, this top off just so I can get it back into get access to some things that I had changed from the original, and then we'll start working from there. Okay, there are three 3/8" bolts that hold this top off on. One is there, one is here, one is up front. Just unscrew those, and that will allow you to pull this top off. And you will see there's dirt, kinds of dirt stuff in here you may want to clean up. There's your armature. This is a magnet, and we'll clean that up. Here's your carburetor, and I'm not sure you'll even have to do this if all you're doing is cleaning the carburetor, but I got to put, here's the wind vane, and I'll show you how it goes on. It actually goes here. I will show you how to put it back together, but I had pulled mine off because again it jury rigged it so it was had just a manual throttle, which I still like, but it still serves. So that's how you take that off. I'm not sure you'll have to do that, but we'll get it to where we put everything back together, and you'll see whether that is necessary. So now I'm going to start loosening the carburetor pieces. Okay, so here's the carburetor, the new one. You can see screws. There's going to be here, here, and 3 on the top. Oh, I'm sorry, I had that wrong. 2 in the front, 3 in the back. So you're going to have to clear off like this linkage and stuff. And it's a 3/8. This front one is going to be 3/8. Pull that off. Oh, and let me mention, be sure to take a picture. Take a picture of how it all is. That way you will be able to look back and see, okay, which of these springs went where. Because if you're like me, you'll start it and then several weeks later come back and not remember where everything went. So always document it with, I like using pictures. It makes it nice and convenient. And so I'm going to first take this brace off. Okay, one thing you will notice, I pulled this brace off here. What I've done is I've kept the bolts in the right place. They're still in the holes in the brace. I have it set in here. I'll have a picture and I'll have this already with the bolts still in it. This gives us a little more access here to the carburetor. Clean it up. You don't want this nastiness, grass, and everything else that's in here to fall into your gas tank. So clean it up. Get it good and clean before you pull the carburetor off. And we have good access to the front. This one, that one, and I think I can get to this one in the back. This piece here, alright, it goes here, and I have no idea right now how, it doesn't want to pull off and I don't want to break it. So I'm going to have to work on that a little bit off camera, and you'll see I did put the wind vane back on. It's just a little pivot here, and I'll show you how it all hooks up when we're putting it back together. Alright, so I got the 5 screws out, and this just wasn't budging. There's a bolt right here, 1/2 inch, and you're going to have to loosen that up, and that's going to loosen this. So just be aware, document everything so you will be able to put it back together when you need to. And just pull this thing off. Okay. loose. You probably want to empty this first. Make it a little easier. Okay, the carburetor is now free. Alright, again, make sure you know how everything goes back together. Take pictures, document. And this, there we go. Now it's pulling out. There. Okay. This ring went somewhere. O-ring. This is the metal piece, and it's got this little thing. I can pull this out. And there's the carburetor, the old carburetor. You can see there's where the fuel air, I guess the vent really, because there's that. So we put them next to each other. And I will tell you right now, see, pay attention how the gaskets are together. There is not one on the fuel. There is, and I'll show you from this kit. There are two gaskets that are, I'm pretty sure, just overlay, and I got to figure out which one it goes where. I believe that it'll go like so. At least that's the way this one looks like. And in fact, this one, there we go. See how it does come up? And then the other one was there. So, we know this, and this one, there's a new piece here. We know that the new gasket, flimsy and weak as it is, no wonder it's got problems. Oh, this is horrible. That is horrible design. So we know that that'll go there, and it is just terrible. That is no. That's why be very careful with this, because it's likely to, if you're not careful, you're going to end up with a leak with the new ones. And there is also a little screen, metal screen. Goes here. Now there is a little spring in this gasket kit. There's a little spring, and I'll lose these or destroy them. And this little gasket. I'm pretty sure this gasket will go right there. So that one's pretty obvious. I'm gonna have to figure out where the spring is. Okay, I'm going to have to look and see where the spring is. But that's how the gasket's going to go, and it's going to go drop down on here. The problem is you have to put it all, I guess you put it on here and then slide it on. We'll see. I'm going to clean this up. I'm going to have to pull this. It comes off easy now that it's free. So that goes like that. Sit. Move sit. And that goes there. So it's going to slide onto that. Alright, so now I just have to figure out where the spring is. So, let me poke around here and see where the spring goes. Okay, that was quick. Pulled the gasket up a little higher. Right here, you can see the spring is right there on the little post. So I'm going to move this out of the way, put the spring on that little post. I'm going to set this back down. And there we go. And I'm going to have to be really careful on this because this gasket is so thin. Alright, so now the trick is going to be, here's the old one, the new one now matches. I have a gas tank, which I really should dump. I'm going to dump the gas out actually, and that'll make it a lot easier to maneuver. And then this will go like so. In fact, I will probably want to put this down first because that piece is bending on me, and I'll set that down. Then I will put this on top. So let me go dump the gas tank and be right back. All right, I've dumped the gas, and now I'm going to take these and place them on the gas tank. I have the spring. Spring is right here. I'm going to set these on the gas tank and make sure that the gasket underneath is flat, because that's the really weak, thin one. It's really thin. Oh, it's terrible. That's probably why so many people have had problems with it. And so I got it nice and flat. Now I'm going to take the new carburetor. I got the spring on it. I got the little screen. Place that in there. Boom, it's now on. Okay, so now I take my 5 screws and I'm going to start them. I'm going to keep pressure down on the carburetor because I don't want that gasket to flop up, because it was wanting to curl on me. I mean, that's a sign of a cheap gasket, which I'm really disappointed in. But I mean, Briggs and Stratton makes some really good engines. This one is, for whatever reason, just a really cheap design. Again, I'm keeping pressure down on it so that that gasket doesn't come up. And getting them all started. And these are just screws, so tighten them up. Don't over tighten them. Try to crisscross when you do tighten. And all right, I have absolutely no idea what the torque should be on these, so might want to look it up. Again, kind of crisscross. Crisscross it as you tighten them. If you're stripping these things, they're going way too tight. They're not. They don't have to be that tight. Just go back and forth, crisscrossing. Till they're reasonably tight. And reasonably varies by person. Okay, that's what I think it is. So now I got this on. Now I've got this on, you notice, and you remember the light just went out on me. I'm going to take this. I hope you can see this. Feed it on. Put it back on the bolt. That plugs in here. This lines up, this lines up. So you have 3 things that will line up. And squeeze it on gently, don't break anything. And again, it's a 1/2 inch bolt that's here. Tighten it. Alright, so there's that. Make sure everything's good. That's on, that's on. Tighten it decent, you don't want it falling off. It is a 1/2 inch bolt, so it can handle a little bit, but that might be aluminum it's going into, so you don't want to do too much. Alright, so new carburetor's on. So what we want is we now have to put the springs on. I hope you guys took pictures, and that way you'll know where to put the springs. So let me grab, whoops, I'm a little ahead of myself. We got this. This should be easy enough. Still got the bolts in. We will 3 long bolts and then the little smaller one that hooks onto the gas tank. So I'm going to put these, I'm going to tighten this up. I will check my pictures on where the springs go, and then we'll come back. So if you remember the O-ring that I found, it actually, the old carburetor, alright, piece here that goes into the engine. The O-ring was behind this clip, and that clip had fell off, so the new one should have that O-ring in it, so don't worry about the O-ring. Alright, so you got your pictures, you got this little clip here, and I hope you can see this. It goes in this hole, down, and the trick is it also has to go in here. So I think I'm going to have to pretty sure that in order not to break this, I'm going to have to undo this, which I put on. I think I wouldn't have to. It is a 1/4 inch. I had that off. I didn't think I'd have to take it off to fix this, but I don't want to risk. You might be able to get this thing on without taking this off. I don't know. I'm going to take it off. So I'm going to start it in there, like so. Screw that back in, and this is go. And see, that controls. The way this works is the faster the engine goes, the more this blows air on here and forces this to turn, which closes. And this, when it slows down, this gets pulled in once the springs are on it, which opens the butterflies, which allows air to come in. You've got your pictures. The big spring hooks in here, and I'm going to have to feed it like so, and then it hooks somewhere by that wind vane. Piece of advice on this one: get a picture from up top, get one from the side too. That's what I'm trying to figure out now, because alright, it looks like both springs actually hook onto this little loop, and I didn't have one from the side, so I have it looking down, and all I see is that it goes to here. I can't really tell much, but I think it goes to the loop. So I'm going to hook this to the loop. The smaller spring hooks here into the loop. So I'm going to get those hooked up, and then we'll continue. Got my springs on, hopefully correctly. I think so. This is back plugged in. This now works, so it's pulled towards it and the air will push it out. You can buy new springs, you can buy this new loop piece, and that is how it works. Alright, so now I'm going to put the top back on it, and then the air cleaner, and fill it up with gas, of course, and then we'll see if the problem's fixed. Couple quick tips. When you're putting your bolts, you have multiple bolts holding something on, get them started, then tighten them. There's the 3 here, get them started, then tighten them. Also, don't forget your gasket here, and I'll throw the air cleaner on, and then we'll put some gas in and start. Okay, I hope this isn't too loud. It took a little bit to start. As you can tell, it's running, and it's running nice and smooth. Not actually using it in the grass, but it's sounding pretty good right now. So, hope this helps y'all. Please like, subscribe, or comment if you found it helpful. And thanks for watching.